Really just the balance of they're a good team and respecting them, but also saying, you know what, we can beat this team if we take care of the little details.
Yeah, I think tomorrow is a great chance to represent ourselves on the global stage. I think this sends shockwaves everywhere if we can win tomorrow, and I think there's belief in the group that we can do that. So,
is there any amount of maybe getting a little bit of an edge just because you guys were able to get a score in the second half and able to keep Botafogo off the board, whereas they lost 4-0 to PSG? Do you think maybe there's a little bit of a mental, you guys are coming in a little
yeah,
better?
I think there's a couple things to it. I think they have more to lose than we do. They're the projected favorite in this, but they also need to win this game, and so do we. But I think if the Botafogo game gave us anything, it did give us some confidence and also a little bit of an edge that we still have more to prove. And I think everybody came out of that game with a little bit of that disappointment that's kind of good sometimes for teams where you played a decent game, you represented yourself well, but you left some stuff on the table. So I think we can use that as an extra boost of energy tomorrow.
Paul, in the first game, of course, getting an assist is a massive moment for the team, but how does it feel for you and your confidence going into the second game?
Yeah, it helps. I think just the way we played those last 20 minutes as a group and personally, it gives you a massive boost of confidence going into the next one, and we've got to bring that same feeling, that same energy, and I'm feeling good going into tomorrow.
A lot of the talk in this tournament has been about teams being here on merit, which the Seattle Sounders are. But as a player, when you're playing in these sort of environments and moments, how does it feel for you?
It's just like such a joy to be a part of this. I get to represent my city on the world stage, and the fact that I'm from here and playing at my home stadium, I can't believe that that's taking place. So for me, it's just pride and joy are kind of the two words I'm really feeling right now.
When you and Pedro came on, you guys really changed the game. It feels like in your own type of way, you guys both create a lot of havoc.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with the fact that I think both you and Pedro have a lot of similarities in the way that you guys kind of can change the game because of the energy and kind of the relentlessness that comes with the way you guys both play?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think Pedro and I are both pretty direct players, and I also want to give credit to the guys who, were in there before and kind of set up the game for us like that. I think it was a good game to come into as a sub. 2-0 down, the team's chasing a little bit. I think we're a different profile from Jesus and Ryan, and so that lended itself well to coming into the game and adding something different. But yeah, credit to Pedro too. I think the guys that came on made a difference the other night, and we have to have that same mentality from the guys who come on next game.
How would you assess the belief the team has right now?
I think it's high. I think we're really excited for this game tomorrow. We still feel like we're in this tournament, and I think everyone still believes that we have a chance to pull off something pretty cool.
Midfielder was very physical. Has there been any talk about kind of keeping your cool during this game and not letting maybe some of the physicality or anything like tricks they might try and pull get involved or affect you?
Yeah, I think Atletico's similar to Botafogo in that way. They're pretty good at some of those dark arts, and I think it's pretty obvious from last game that we learned some important lessons in that regard. But we can take those lessons and bring them into this next game. I thought there were some really smart things Botafogo did against us the other night. I referenced like the first foul that they put on Ryan 20 seconds into the game. Outside back kind of is just telling him, I'm going to be right there on you the whole game. That sends a message. And then just little things that they did. I think on the first or second goal, we were talking about how they just, one of them kind of pulled Kim's arm right before he's going to jump, and that stuff kind of falls under the, stays under the radar and allows a guy to then get a little extra space on the header. So, yeah, all those little things are going to be really important tomorrow.
You're playing against a side that represents their city well, whether it's their manager or the players. Seattle have that similar vibe.
Mhm.
How important is it to channel that like energy in a game like this?
Yeah, I think it's our pride versus theirs, and I have a lot of respect for this club. I've watched this club all my life. I like who they are and what they're about and what Simeone, preaches, and this is a big club that we get to test ourselves against and test our own resolve against as well.
Is it a favorite club outside of your club, or just a club you've watched? Like an Obed
Yeah.
situation, or?
No, I'm a Liverpool fan. If it's not the Sounders, it's Liverpool. I grew up watching Steven Gerrard. And my mother's family's from Liverpool originally a long time ago. So, but I also I've always liked what Atletico's about. Always a little bit of the underdog. They're always playing for their shirt, and I think Sounders have a lot of that too.
What does it mean for you to play against Atletico, a global powerhouse, and what do you expect the strengths, the main strengths as a team?
I'm very excited. I think as a player, getting to play against the best is a goal of anyone's, right? Because you only get to see your best if you go against the best, and this is the best I've gotten to go against, so I'm excited to rise to that occasion. But I think for them, their best strength is their intensity and their togetherness as a team. Everyone's on the same page all the time. And they have another number of weapons that can hurt us. I have a lot of respect for Julian Alvarez. I really like him as a player. He's one of my favorite players on the world stage. So I'm looking forward to getting to go against him tomorrow night too.
You mentioned Atletico being fans of the dark arts. Is that something that is easily challenged like within the team to go up against that, or is that something you have to prepare for?
We'll see tomorrow.